afternoon, my friends. How are you? Welcome back to my messy craft room. Today I've got a very quick project. I've done a little bit of prep work first just to save your time rather than mine, because I didn't want you to watch all the boring bits. But basically I've got three fat quarters of fabric, which is usually 18 by 20-ish inches, but this particular one that I've got is just 18 inches by 18 inches square. So I've just got that, and I don't know if you can see that one, the Christmas tree one. Use whatever fabric you've got, but I've just 18 inches by 18 inches will be fine. I got some of that fusible interfacing that I've been using on my other projects. That's got glue on one side and not on the other. One side is bobbly. Just iron that on to melt the glue. Put that on one side of the fabric there. Iron that on. And then I got another plain fat quarter from another bundle, which is just plain stone. This one here, I've got two of them. And this was 18 by 20, so I got the width that was 18, so it divided up nicely, and I just did 3-inch strips, cut 3-inch strips, and then I sewed those little strips together like that. And then I just ironed the edges into the middle and tucked in the sides so that they're nice and neat, and clip them to keep them in place. So that's what I did with that. Then I got two pieces of fabric that are where's my tape measure gone? I've just had it. Okay. I've just got two more pieces of Christmassy stack type fabric. It's tartan, 10 by 10 inch squares, from another bundle that I had, and I've put some interfacing on one side and I'm sewing them right sides together. That's going to be the pocket. So I'm just going to do that now. So I'll just pop your camera down so you can see what I'm doing. You can see all the mess as well. Let's get all that out of the way. There we go. And then I'm just going to sew these together to make the pocket. About 1/4 of an inch seam, because I have moved the needle over. I don't have my 1/4 of an inch foot on, but I have just moved the needle over, so it's about 1/4 of an inch-ish. So I'm just going to sew all around the edges, leaving a gap. So I actually want to make a mark, don't I? Because I always forget. So I'll leave a gap there. I think that'll be enough for turning. I don't think it will actually. Let me just iron those out, because I want a bigger gap than that, or else I won't be able to turn it. I'm going to do a gap of about lost my tape measure again. 2.5 inch gap. That's what I'm doing. And I'm just going to sew around the edges, and I'm going to go back and forward with the stitches at the start and the end to reinforce those stitches, so that when I turn the fabric over, stitching doesn't come undone. Back and forth at the end. Now then, before I turn it, what I am going to do is just grab my scissors and just trim those edges off to get that bulk out, so that when you turn it, I nearly went through the stitching there because I wasn't watching what I was doing. Just about. I should have just got away with that, I think. Let's just turn it the right sides. And then we can love these little projects that take no time at all to put together. Fabulous gift ideas, especially at this time of year, 'cause you know there's somebody going to be in the kitchen cooking the Christmas turkey. So why not make them a little Christmas pinny? Right, I'm just going to grab my favourite pokey tool, my 4mm crochet hook. I don't know why I prefer 4mm. I think the smaller ones have more of a point on them, where this is more rounded, so it does less damage when if you're a bit heavy-handed when you're turning things out, so you don't go through the seams. Now this is not going to look well on me because I've got white white cotton on red and green thread, so that's going to be hilarious, isn't it? But not to worry, not to worry. Right, what I'm just going to do very quickly, that little turning gap there, I'm just going to give that a quick press. You don't need to watch me iron, do you? You don't need me to move the camera so you can see me ironing. I just want to make sure that's turned. That's better. It's sticking out a little bit and I didn't like that. When we sew the pocket on, now that'll close that gap. Because it's just for me, I'm not changing the cotton. Now I did just press the middles out to see the corners, so I could see the middle, sorry. I don't have to be too big. But mind you, we like big pockets, don't we? We do like big pockets. I'm just wondering if to turn that over just a little bit though, at the bottom. I'm kind of thinking if that was turned up a little bit, you know, where we've got that turning gap, the pocket's not too big then. Right, I'm turning it up at the bottom. I've made an executive decision. And I'm just going to pin that in place. Because we're going to get this pocket sewn on before we put the front and the back of this penny together. Now you could put a pocket on the other side as well so it was reversible, which I would do if it was a gift. I would make this reversible. So all we're doing, guys, is sewing side, bottom, side, because that's going to be the pocket. So easy, this project, so easy. Me, it's only for me. Right, I'm just going to go less than 1/4 of an inch. Back and forth with your stitching at the tops, because you're going to be putting things in and out of the pockets and you don't want the stitching coming undone. Will keep that secure when you're putting things in inside and outside of your pockets. You've left that top open so you can use it. Where are my tinsy scissors? There we go. Just so I can get this right close. There we go. So that's your pocket. Let me just cut that side as well. There we go. Snip. Now we're doing what we did with the pocket. We're doing this apron so that the right sides are together. So that's the top. So we don't want to sew the top because that's what we're putting the waistband on. So, oh, that's a lot shorter, that. A lot smaller. They're not exact. So let's just centre it a little bit so it's as close as possible. slightly different sizes that. You could just trim that to size now if you wanted. So I'm just going to put clips here just to remind me that I'm not sewing that top edge. I'm only sewing the sides and the bottom. Like that. Okay. And then what I'll do, because that's not perfectly aligned, what I'm going to do is just pin it in a few different places just to stop it from moving about, and hopefully it'll behave itself. Get one in the middle. And that way we can just sew around them edges and then use the top to turn it over, the bit that we've left open. And then we can put the band on. That would be nice and easy. I'll use the top fabric as the guide for the portrait in each seam because the bottom is slightly bigger. We want to make sure we're catching those seams. So again, needle down position. You want to go back and forward with your stitching at the start and the end to make sure those stitches stay secure. Is that slowed down? What's going on? I will be trimming that edge actually. Right, I need to remember that's where the edge is underneath because it differs, and I will just trim that to the going back and forth to secure those stitches and finish. So I just want to make sure all those pins are out now, and then you can either put it on your cutting mat with your ruler and your rotary cutter just to trim those edges off, or I'm just cutting those corners for bulk. You can just tidy them up with your scissors just to do it that way. It doesn't matter either way. If I wasn't rushing to try and make this video so it's not too long, I would probably take it into the other room where my larger cutting mat is on the floor, and I would just trim this with my ruler and my rotary cutter. Let's just try and do this for speed. There we go. Just snip that little bit. Pop them out of the way. These scraps are always good for putting in a little pot somewhere or a bag somewhere and keeping them for stuffing. Right, you're going to see it all come together now. This is nearly finished already. So just go around the edges, making sure all those seams are out as much as they can be. Get your turning tool and just poke your edges out, your corners, and then we'll give it a quick press. Come on, there we go. Get that crochet hook in the seams. There we go, brilliant. Brilliant. Quick press. I already pressed the fabric really well before I started, so it won't need too much. Beautiful. Just a quick, making sure those edges are nice and crisp. There we go. This iron isn't as good as my larger iron. It's very old as this iron, and it's not doing as good a job as it used to, so I think it's time I bought myself another little mini iron for the craft room. Putting that interfacing on just gives it that little bit more stability, I think. So all we're going to do with this, what you call it, gives a clue, tie, all we're going to do with this is we're going to fold it over like that, over the top. That's it, that's all we're doing. So we want it folded down like this. But what we want to do is find the middle in a minute. So let me just clip these edges together so we know we've got it in a good place. We all need to be in a good place, don't we, folks? Even our waistbands, especially our waistbands, need to be in a good place. Have you made anything for Christmas yet? Have you started planning for Christmas? What you're going to be doing? Have you got any projects at all for Christmas on the go? I've not even been able to think really much about Christmas for our house till we've got this church Christmas fair out of the way, because my husband and I have been that busy with making stuff for the stall that we've really not had time to think about anything for our house. I mean, I wanted to make a table runner, a Christmas table runner, a quilted one. I wanted to make some matching placemats and you know, like your serviettes and serviette rings and all that. Like, I wanted a lovely table this year, but unfortunately by the time we've got this Christmas fair out of the way, I don't actually think I'll have enough fabric left to do what I wanted to do. Because I was going to do matching oven gloves and pot holders and matching apron, not just a pinny, like a half pinny like this. I was going to do like a full side, you know, full length, full pinny. And I was going to do loads of all matching, coordinating stuff, but I just don't have enough, as much Christmas fabric as I've got. I don't have enough to do all that, that's matching anyway. And with work and everything else, I don't actually think I'm going to have time now. Might be something I start planning for now for next year. Do you know, like looking for the fabric so that it's all here and ready to go when we start next year's December fun. I don't know. We'll have to think of something, won't we? Because we've got other projects we want to do. It's not just you know, an odd tree decoration and that. We want to do loads of things together, don't we? Right. So all I'm going to do now is put these ends together to find the middle. So just bear with me for a second, because this is very long, probably too long actually, but it is what it is. It means it'll fit all sizes, doesn't it? Right, so that's my middle right there. So in that little middle bit there, I'm going to put, oh, it's right where the seam is as well. How good is that? That is my middle, guys. Oh, that's fabulous. And then what I'm going to do here is find my middle. Finger press it. That's my middle. Go on, give us a clue. There it is. That's my middle, where that's right where on that seam is. That worked out very well. So that, get that out of there, is going over. The apron here is going inside the waistband there, if you know what I mean. Okay. And we're just going to do that all the way now. So get this top of the apron right into the middle of the waistband where that crease is, so that you're covering the back and the front. And like I said, if you'd have put a pocket on the other side as well, it will be reversible. I mean, it's still reversible. It's just one side has a pocket on this one, the other doesn't. So if you want a pocket on both sides for your reversible apron, and I'm having problems saying reversible for some reason, then just put a pocket on both ends. I just didn't, because I wanted to make it quicker, and it's just for me anyway. So all we're going to do now, and if my editor plays nicely today and lets me edit the video, I will speed this little bit up for you. So I'm going to start in the middle of this seam, and I'm going to do I'm just going to put that clip back in because that does not want to stay in place. And I'm just going to make sure I go all along the top of the waistband, all the way around the edge, and then all underneath here. Okay, back to the very beginning again. Going back and forth as well at start and finish, so that my stitches don't come undone. So halfway through I ran out of cotton, so I just turned the filming off, re-threaded the machine, and just did the rest and just put it back on now as I'm finishing off. I'll tidy these threads up afterwards, but basically I shall do my best to turn the camera around without causing too much problems. Here is your little pinny, which has got plenty of tie on it. Basically, it will fit all sizes. I mean, this is quite long on me, but you could actually have it so that it's tied to the side like that, and it's out of the way of your pocket. But it's also great for just tucking your towel at the side when you're cooking. So basically, that is your reversible apron. And if you did a pocket on the other side, there you go, you can wear it that side as well. Fabuloso. I don't know if you can move the camera down a bit so you can just see just above the knee there. So it's a fabulous size pinny. 100% cotton, so it'll wash and wash and wash. Fabulous, Fabulous little pinny. I love these types of pinnies. I tell you what you could do though, if you prefer the full length pinny, all you would have to do, get that out of the way, is put another square piece of fabric here with some more of this tie around the neck if you wanted to add a full bib to it for a full length, a full size pinny. You'd just add another square on top here and just sew it in the back. That's all you'd have to do if you just wanted it one side. You can make them reversible as well, but just to shove a square patch over here to make it more and a strapping around the neck will be as easy to do. But as far as gift ideas, there really is nothing to make in these. You don't need to use fat quarters. If you've got any piece of fabric that's 18 by 18, you have got, and you could just get a roll of the bias binding for the straps if you wanted. If you didn't want to pull that fabric to make a strap, you could just get a roll of bias binding. This wasn't done on the bias, it didn't need to be because it wasn't going around any corners, but that's an option for you as well. I just love these little pinnies and I think they're an excellent idea. A quick make for a gift. Fabulous little Christmas present. So I hope you enjoyed that, friends. And for the homeless shelter, and we just want to make it a real good success for the church and the homeless shelter, and just to bring joy to people, bit of Christmas fun, bit of Christmas cheer. But for now I will say goodbye, God bless, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Please like, subscribe and share. Sending love to you all. Bye for now.